begins to testify here in 2 Timothy, God gives us an insight to a very personal letter. This is a letter that a father would have wrote to a son. And as he begins to write to his son in the faith, he begins to exhort him. And he begins to tell him, preach the word. Be instant in season and out of season. And he began to talk about a time that would come when people would not endure sound doctrine.
Come on.
Oh, are you with me this morning?
Yeah.
They would not endure sound doctrine. That means they wouldn't stick with it, or they wouldn't stay with it. But they would have themselves teachers having itching ears. That means that they'd rather have their ear tickled than to have the truth said with them. Amen?
Yes.
Come on, are you with me?
Yes.
And we find in the world today that we have teachers that have itching ears. Come on. It didn't say that the people would have itching ears. It would say that the teachers would have itching ears. So many times I hear people say, well, everybody's got itching ears, and they want somebody to say, oh, you know what? I want something that's going to make me feel good. But this wasn't talking about that. The Bible said there would be teachers having itching ears. That means that people would begin to preach more for the applause of man than they would for the truth of God.
Come on.
Amen. In other words, that they would feel more satisfied if they left the church and said, somebody clapped their hands other than somebody got saved. Are you with me?
Yeah.
They'd rather hear that somebody, amen, hallelujah, somebody left out of here telling the preacher you did a good job and got patted on the back, rather than somebody hear a word from God that's able to change their life forever. We live in a society where people had rather shout and run than to see somebody saved and set free. We live in a society where people value more what they live in or what they drive than they value each other. Are you with me? Amen. We live in a society where our churches are built to match the people we hang out with. We go to church and everybody looks alike, everybody dresses alike, everybody acts alike. We find a place where we can go and we fit in. Our churches become a social club rather than a place where God can be removed. Are you with me so far? We go to churches sometimes and we look around and everybody looks at us and everybody almost looks the same. They act the same. Somebody got tickled here the other night because they said they went to a church in Kentucky and the evangelist said, I like going there. I said, why? He said, everybody in that church shouts the same.
Come on.
Come on. He said, they all look the same when they shout. It just tickles me. I'm here to tell you something. God made you just the way you are. He made you to be who you are. He anointed you to be who you are. Nobody else can replace you. Nobody else can duplicate you. And you're just as important in God's eyes as anybody else is. Paul said, I fought a good fight.
Yes. Come on.
And I've kept the faith. Henceforth, there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness.
Come on.
You got to understand something. The whole time that he was preaching that he might obtain
A crown.
He was always after
A crown.
the crown.
Righteousness.
Everything that he did, he was after the crown. He said, I fought a good fight.
Yes.
And I've kept the faith.
Yes.
I know that there's a crown of righteousness laid up for me. When he said, I fought a good fight, that means that he set his eyes upon a goal and he was determined to be the very best he could possibly be. I want you to know today that nobody else can be a mother to your children. Nobody else can be a father to your children. When you set your mind on being a good mother, you need to be the very best mother you can possibly be. When you set your mind on being a father, you need to be the very best father you can be. Your children should be more important to you than drugs. They should be more important to you than alcohol. They should be more important to you than relationships. They should be more important to you than another man, than another woman. Somebody better hear what I'm saying. They need to be more important to you than having something fancy on your own back. I love these mothers that will shop for their children at the mall than buy their clothes at the Goodwill. That lets me know they'd rather see their children lifted up than to see themselves lifted up. I got a problem when the mother and the father look like they stepped out of a magazine and the children look like they haven't got anything. I'm here to tell you something. We got our priorities while, but it ought to be good for you.
Come on.
I fought a good fight. It means something to say I fought a good fight. It means something to come to the place where you talk to your children and you say, I've done the best that I know how to do. Come on, say, I've done the best I know how to do. I've got no excuses. I've got no stories. I've got no